We are in the year 2070. I just turned 50 years old, but I look 85. I experienced major kidney problems because I drink very little water. I think that I don't have much more time to live. Today, I'm the oldest person living in this society. I remember when I was 5 years old, everything was very different. I could enjoy long baths and stay in the shower for 1 whole hour. Now, we have to clean ourselves by using disposable towelettes moisturized with mineral oil. Before, women were proud of their long, beautiful hair. Now, we have to shave our head to keep it clean without using water. I remember the many warnings. Don't waste water. But nobody paid attention. People assumed the water wasn't limited. Today, rivers, lagoons, and underground water are all either irremediably polluted or completely dried up. The landscape that surrounds us has turned into nothing more than an immense desert. Gastrointestinal infections and skin and urinary tract disease have now become the main cause of death. Industry is paralyzed and the jobless rate reached a dramatic level. They give one drink water instead of a salary. People are constantly being mugged for water on the deserted streets. 80% of the food is synthetic. Before, it was recommended that an adult drink 8 glasses of water a day. Today, I am allowed to only drink half a glass. We had to go back to using septic tanks, just like in the past century, because the sewage system stopped working due to the lack of water. People look scary, their bodies are weak, because extreme dehydration. Due to the dryness of their skin, a young 20-year-old woman looks more like a 40. Scientists perform all types of research and investigation, but there is no solution in sight. We cannot produce water. The lack of trees reduces the amount of oxygen available, which lowers the intellectual rates. As a result, many children are born with mutations and malformations. The government even makes us pay a tax for the air we breathe. Some countries succeed in preserving a few islands of vegetation of their own streams. These areas are closely monitored by the army. Here, though, there are no more trees because it hardly ever rains, and whenever it does rain, it is acid rain that comes down. There are no more seasons. Climatic changes such as the greenhouse effect and the polluting activities we indulged in during the 20th century took care of that. We were warned about the need to take care of our environment, but nobody bothered. When my daughter asked me to tell her how I was when I was young, I described the beautiful of the forest. I can't help feeling guilty because I belong to a generation that completed the destruction of our environment that's simply not taking seriously any of the warnings. And there were so many of them. I belong to the last generation who could have made the difference, but who chose not to act. Today, our children pay the price. How I wish I could go back in time and tell the human race to understand this, at a time when it was possible for us to do something to save the earth. Did you like what you heard? The global warming is primarily a problem of too much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which acts as a blanket, trapping heat and warming the planet. As we burn fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas for energy, or cut down and burn forests to create pastures and plantifications, carbon accumulates and overloads our atmosphere. It is actually one of the most serious threats to our environment, our health, and our economy, but we don't realize that. We keep thinking global warming is not a real problem, that we should be worrying about different problems. So what is going on with our planet? Scientific studies confirm that the planet is warming and that this warming is already causing environmental changes that will impact significantly in the economy and the social areas. On the other hand, scientists say that carbon dioxide levels in our atmosphere are the highest in the last 6,000 years. But at the same time, the good news is that we can stop the worst impacts of the global warming. It is necessary to take action now, because if we don't find a solution within the next 10 years, it could be too late. The solution to global warming is a major challenge that we can achieve if each one of us gets conscious that we are destroying our environment without even noticing. If we get conscious, we can reduce the pollution that causes global warming by 60% by 2050. So what can we do to reduce the global warming? First, we should use the light bulbs, refrigerators, and buildings that use 80% less energy than conventional designs. The less kilowatts that we use in an hour means less pollution in our environment. Second, we should help reducing gases we emit to the atmosphere. But the question is, how can we do this? Well, the answer is simple. Plants and trees absorb the carbon dioxide as they grow. So if we increase forest lands and make a change to the way we farm, we can actually decrease the amount of carbon we are storing. To make a change, we need leaders who are up to the challenge, who will be able to make a difference for the world and will make a better place to live. We cannot continue ignoring the problem and live our lives as if nothing is happening. The responsibility is in our hands. It is our planet, our own life, that is on risk. Besides, we can't continue destroying our habitat, because from now, in some years, if we continue like this, we won't have a place to live. So we are just in time to make a change and make a difference. So, what are you waiting to make a change? Start now! Participants: Daniela Salamanca, María Salas, Andrea Lezama, and Mariana Romero.